Reign of Terror, spanning from 1793 to 1794, was a climax in the French Revolution, with the opposing parties being the Jacobins and the aristocracy. In tonight's judicial hearing, we will get to hear from both sides. Now, over to the court.
Order in the court!
Now, we've heard a lot of yelling so far, but what we want is the facts. I am aware of the great fear that occurred in the eruption of 1783 in Iceland, and I have since researched the storming of Bastille in 1789. I know that the peasants have lived in fear of the aristocrats, so I want to know what has changed since the spark of this reign of terror. We'll start with the Committee of Public Safety, or rather, the Jacobins.
Your Honor, all we want is liberty, equality, and fraternity for all people. It doesn't matter how we achieve it. Our goals include creating the ideal society, a utopia of equality. Sure, we might have to use some violence to get there, but the aristocrats have been keeping what scarce resources and food France already has for themselves. We believe that to create a utopian society, we need first, a plan. 2, use of force to keep the population in line with that plan. And 3rd, people who are committed to the utopian idea, like us Jacobins.
We call it the Reign of Terror because we're terrified. Most of us have done absolutely nothing wrong except for our inherent wealth. You forced us to either flee or be imprisoned and murdered. As is, you've executed over 40,000 aristocrats with your so-called technology of equality, the guillotine. We will call to the stand a couple of witnesses. First, Olympe de Gouges, followed by Marie Antoinette. What is your grievance with the Jacobin Party?
As a woman of intellect, they have deemed me suspect of disloyalty to your revolution. I simply wanted to advocate for the voices of the oppressed, women and slaves, and now you're going to kill me tomorrow. Please, I am only 45!
Your Highness, what is your perspective on your arrest and the allegations that you perpetuated the starvation of the peasants?
I'm so sorry that you feel like as if you're starving, but God has blessed me with this life for a purpose. Who am I to step out of Versailles?
In regards to Antoinette, you will be executed on October 16th, 1793. Madame de Gouges, you're clearly a spy for the counter-revolution. You don't want freedom for all. As stated before, we need a utopian society, and we will use force to bring it about. This includes the public execution of up to 24 aristocrats daily. We will not be trifled with. We will call our leader, Maximilien Robespierre, to the stand.
No one is free of suspect. In fact, the greatest enemy to our revolution is man's own carnal and selfish desire. By cleansing France of the elite, the humble and modest will be able to find equality and voice. Sure, I may turn on friends or so-called allies, and yes, we may have executed those that may not have been aristocrats simply because they may be reminiscent or encouraging the aristocracy, but that is only out of necessity due to a sense of rebellion.
The Reign of Terror eventually ended, along with the French Revolution in 1799. Neither side came out truly victorious, and still the implications cannot be ignored.
Since sparked countless pop culture movements, including the Scarlet Pimpernel. So between the thousands of lives lost and the lasting impact, that, folks, is the Reign of Terror.